Going to that deception point and that beautiful side, John, in examining these three cases of online predator, of exorcism, and of abortion, where have you seen that people were kind of enticed by the beauty and that gets them sucked into the evil?
Yeah, I think you really see it in all three places. In the online side, you've got many times kids and teens that are just not expecting anything out there that's going to harm them. You know, teens have always done risky behavior or think they're invincible. You know, that hasn't changed. But what you have is a situation where teens spend a ton of time online. They connect a lot of their self-esteem to how many likes did I get? Who read my Snapchat story? Things like that. And so they're drawn into that online world, and they view an online friend as the equivalent of a friend that you know in person. And that's
Mm.
really different than any other generation. You know, they've really kind of grown up with that. And technology has just made it easy for predators. I think there's always been those predators out there, but you have to have close proximity in the pre internet days. Now you can be in a foreign country. And I've talked to police officers who have said that many times when someone is, trying to get explicit pictures, there it goes back to somebody in a foreign country, and they almost can't do anything about it.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
you know, yeah, I think that's all too common, and parents just many times think that they may have a child appropriate program that their kid is using, but they don't realize that underneath that is a chat room and private messaging. Well, that's where the predators hang out, where the kids are. So child appropriate program does not mean child safe, and I think a lot of parents don't make that connection. And so I think that was one of the things I wanted to demonstrate. And then on the exorcism side, I think people think that you, when you make up your own truth, when you don't follow biblical teachings, it's just so easy to go down that path. And society, celebrity, the media, et cetera, is, hey, just do what you want, and there aren't any consequences to any behavior, so no big deal. But yet, that's exactly what the devil wants to convince you of, is to look inward rather than to looking for biblical values, as an example. And in Catherine's story, to me, I think it really comes down to um, people who are just become desensitized
Mm.
to the value of life, and it's, well, I'm just doing this for convenience, and they're not really thinking too deeply about it. But yet many times it's going to impact them. The big lie is that, oh, it's no big deal. You go in, take a pill, etc., have a procedure, and you just move on the next day. And the people that I've interviewed who have had abortions, they say that that is definitely not the case.
Mm. Yeah, it's a lack of integration, I find. Whether you have a faith system or not, it's the fact that you're not only disconnected from God, but you're disconnected from yourself. And being disconnected from yourself, kind of like what Catherine was talking about, that the Lord assured her that she'd be able to see those souls again, that these people have souls, that babies have souls, that that child is a soul, that child online, that you're harming. It's like there's just seems to be a disconnection with, this all matters, and one thing that you do is going to affect the next thing, is going to affect the next thing. What connections, John, have you seen uh, between the issue of, abortion and even rape and child predator and that whole exorcist world, the things that, the people who are coming for freedom from exorcism? How do you see that connection between one act of evil kind of stretching out to all three of those areas.
Yeah, I think the higher level view is just not treating other people with dignity,
Mm,
and and when you're just doing what you want selfishly, it's going to lead to problems. And the big question is why do these people think it's okay to do what they're doing? And the only logical answer is when you make up your own rules and you're only concerned about yourself, then it's a lot easier to rationalize those kinds of explanations. And it's just like it's so easy to be behind a computer screen and write you know, a, a criticizing post on Facebook or some other social media, right? It's always easier to be mean behind your keyboard. Well, this
mm,
is just the next level of that. It's just so
yeah.
easier to do, these kinds of bad things because think about what does the predator want? They don't want a relationship. They don't want intimacy or really caring about person. They want some kind of instant gratification that is almost transactional. They don't see the other person as human in a sense. And when you don't see that, whether that's the unborn or a vulnerable person on the other side of a computer screen, it's just it's just made too easy to have these kinds of bad behavior, if you will.
Yeah.